A new Volkswagen that is cool and affordable at the same time. That is the goal of this concept, the T-Cross Breeze. And we're going to talk about it in Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars with Thomas. The T-Cross Breeze, you don't really see it on the first hand, but it is on the Polo basis, 4 meters and 13 in length. And we're also going to talk about it with Volkswagen brand CEO Herbert Diess. This part will also be in this video. To see the whole interview with him, you can also check out the video description. That interview will also be linked in. Here, let me first start with the T-Cross Breeze, because especially the front is very interesting, as this new front here, especially with this design, and that is going here a little bit upward and then straight again, this gives an outlook of how compact Volkswagen will look like in the future. And to me, I think it's very well done, very beautiful. This concept here, this convertible SUV, has of course some kind of off-road crossover styling. It's not really unrealistic. I'm pretty sure this will come pretty close as it is right now, not as a convertible. That one is still uncertain. But surely as a Polo crossover, you know, there's also already the Cross Polo, but this one here, of course, steps up the game a little bit more, especially with this very strong front, and also see this very interesting LED daytime running lights. So I want to hear your opinion, what you think about this new Frontier, and well, I think it can really grow on you. And as I saw the vehicle for the first time, I was like, yes, that works. And of course, we've seen a Range Rover Evoque convertible, for example, and this really sets sales now. Well, everyone said, oh, convertibles, you know, they're from yesterday, no one wants them anymore, so small percentage share in the market. But they might be coming back if you combine convertibles with a very comfortable ride in an upright seating position SUV. That might work. And I mean, the car looks bigger than it actually is. It is suitable for every parking lot in the city, and that's what makes it so attractive. You have a good feeling sitting upright, but still you can go everywhere. And the interior is that one what is really revolutionary. This is a new human machine interface. You see there are no buttons left, hardly any buttons left, for the convertible top maybe, but nothing special anymore. And that's really the special thing about this car here, and the new design here. And we just, maybe if we step back some steps, we can see there's a very strong, a very sharp design on the height of the door handles that creates this massive effect here, and really looks 3D kind of style. And also the lower part, as we have the contrasting colors here, the farther you go back, the more 3D-alike it really looks, together with massive rims. Those ones are always pretty huge in the concept cars, of course. You see the soft top is hidden here. It's, you know, it's no cover at all, but that's perfectly fine. You see, that will also not create any kind of special wind drag. And then here, you see there, those the part where the rollover bars will be flipping out for the safety. If we check a look at the rear, horizontal taillights, pretty sharp also in the design scheme. And you know, it's not a calm design, not at all, but in this case it doesn't have to be. And I would really like to see this one here going to the market, because you know, Volkswagen also needs some kind of image booster, and this car is really cool, really cool. And I mean, the price when it sits on the Polo basis can also be that high than when it really comes. And we can also take another look inside, right here. You see, even the pedals have this design scheme. That is also really interesting. And now we'll just try what happens when I sit down, because sometimes some people running like, oh, you can't do that, you can do this, but here obviously no one is attacking me. It's funny. So let's take a look here. What is very interesting, look here on the airbag pad here in the middle, you got cloth, and that's a very important thing, because you have to use more cloth or maybe even more plant-based materials. We're going to talk about that on with Herbert Dies later as well. And you see here those illumination style here with those dots. And there's a display mode at the moment. You can touch here, but it's not working anymore. At least, well, it's in this special display mode. But the thing is, it's not really that you can touch down a button. It's all capacitive, you call it. So you maybe feel it then when something happening, but overall, it's all kind of seamless, I would call it. Just one layer, and very interesting concept indeed. And I think this concept here really works from the visual part. And now, let's move on to our interview part on that vehicle. If you're speaking of new Volkswagen behind us, I would definitely call this one a new Volkswagen. We have never seen such a concept here. It's the T-Cross Breeze. It's on the Polo basis. You wouldn't see it actually that it's on Polo base because it looks way larger. Yeah, and tell us more about it. What's the real highlight on this vehicle besides of it? It is a convertible.
Yeah. SUVs are still a big trend worldwide. Now they are working, or they are really increasing market share worldwide, from China to the US to Europe. Volkswagen is investing a lot in SUVs, launching this year the Tiguan, next year another SUV a little bit smaller, and this one will be the third. It's not sure whether it will appear in the shape of a convertible, but you can imagine that this style works as well as a conventional SUV. It will be also a very important car on a worldwide basis. SUVs are becoming smaller, more environmental friendly, and if you allow,
yes, sure.
I would like to show you that also the interior will change quite a lot. It's a new HMI, new touch and feel of the interior, which is also shown here in a prototype application, but you will see that quite soon in the next generation of Polos to come. But
our cameraman can look inside as well to see the HMI, the human-machine interface, and I'm especially interested because sometimes people say, "Oh, I sit down in the car and it's really overwhelming me. It's too much." So it has to be intuitive. How does it work?
No, it has to be intuitive, and you're well aware that we also will face here new competitors like the Googles and Apples of the industry, so we have to make a major step. We think that we have a little bit of an advantage because we know what kind of information the driver needs, when is the driver prepared to receive information, when the driver is prepared to interact. And that gives us a little bit of an advantage because we think ergonomically we can integrate the new services in a better way than the typical IT industry players. We will make sure that you can interact with your music, phone in a way that you're not distracted from driving. And I think we can do that in a better way than just the mobile phone devices provider, because we can play with a head-up display. We have the big screens. We can decide what to show on which screen at what time and how to interact. Is it touch and feel, or is it gestics, for instance?
Is it already working, or is it show car stage that you cannot touch anything?
I think it should be working. I'm not sure whether it's now set up. It's probably now in a display mode. But if you will be back, I think it can be shown to you. Yeah.
One topic I'm especially seeking after is sustainability, also as for the surfaces, for example, of the seats, because there's this old conception of true leather, of genuine leather, which is now obviously not really sustainable and not for the animals, not for the environment. Here we also see something different, especially on the inside.
But the animals are not grown because of the leather. The animals are grown basically for the meat, and we use the leather for the.
Well, you fund an industry that is relying on killing, and so that's then a no-go for me. Is it a Lazaretti on the outside?
I can't say, but it looks like, because a very modern style. It's a textile here, and that should be leatherette, but I can't tell you.
But are you basically thinking of using, for example, more plant-based materials that are more sustainable and will reduce the investment of animal-based materials?
No, for sure, because sustainability also converts into a new perception of what is valuable, what people want to touch and feel. And the materials are becoming more natural, more regrown material, more natural-based material. We can see that in different applications. For instance, in former times, conventional plastic is now being substituted in grown materials. This is a gradual process which I think many cars companies are working on. So do we in Volkswagen.
I know electrification is a very special subject of you. You've been also active in an initiative in Germany. And I would like to know, what about the science location, Germany? Does it have future for electrification, or will that also only be done in China?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question, which is a question also the whole industry and politics are concerned about, because I would say to be successful on the long run in an international market, you need a strong home market. And it looks like that other markets are developing bigger growth in electric cars than Germany or Europe, even Europe. Now we have a really high growth on the west coast in the United States. We have high growth in China. NEVs are, how they call those cars, are growing fast in China, basically doubling sales every year. So we have to make sure that Germany becomes not only a development hub or platform for electric cars, but also one of the key markets worldwide. And I think politics and politicians play a major role there. We need the kind of environment where we really can convince our customers that electric car is the right way forward.